place in specific classes in school? Was it teacher recommendation, test results, student records, skin color, counselor decision? Many years ago, when there were mid-year graduations, Carol and one of her friends began junior high at 7th grade in the same cohort of 4 classes. All of their friends were in the other cohort of 4 classes. At the end of the first week, Carol and her friend took a mathematics skills test and scored 100%. As a result, they were moved to the other cohort of classes. Of course, they were glad to join their friends. When Carol went to sewing class with this new cohort, she noticed that the students in the new cohort were also making a gym bag, but they were several steps ahead. She had to catch up. Carol didn't know at the time, but she had been placed initially in the lower level cohort. She moved to the other cohort because there were too many students in her cohort and because of her accurate mathematics skills. In 8th grade, she asked her mother to sign a form so that she could take algebra in the 9th grade because she knew she could excel in mathematics. There was no 8th grade algebra at that time. By 9th grade, there were no cohorts. Carol was enrolled in a lower level science class, although she wasn't aware of it. She wasn't required to enter the science fair, whereas the other class was, so she was glad to be in her class. Carol was told by her parents to do her absolute best, follow rules, and not question the status quo. She only advocated for herself when it came to mathematics. In other courses, she just let the counselors place her in classes. What evidence was used to place Carol in the lowest level cohort in 7th grade? What were the expectations of the teachers, knowing that this was the lower level cohort? Did they assume that students could handle higher expectations? Should teachers expect less of students if their scores are not as high, or if their teachers did not recommend them? How might teachers provide greater opportunities, encouragement, and scaffolding to enhance and enrich the learning of students who are underserved? In the 3-year high school, Carol took all of the advanced mathematics courses offered. That was before the school had honors courses or AP courses. The students in high school had to take the Iowa test in 9 subject areas. Carol scored over 95 percentile in mathematics, 70 in a couple of others, but 50 or lower in everything else, ending with a composite score of 55 percentile. She was invited treasurer, was in leadership class her last semester. Her teacher heard she was taking math analysis, the highest mathematics course of the school, and asked her, "Why aren't you in my physics class?" The counselor did not place Carol into chemistry until the 2nd semester of her junior year, so she couldn't take physics. Another student said the counselor insisted that she take chemistry at the beginning of her junior year. How predictive are standardized test scores? What evidence did the counselor use to encourage or discourage students to enroll in cognitively demanding classes? How can we encourage counselors to set high expectations for all students? Don't put students in boxes. Don't assume students can't when they can with support. Don't let test scores, skin color, counselor, or teacher recommendations determine what a student can or cannot do. Do encourage students to take high cognitive demand classes. Do let students know they can achieve and that you believe in them. Do provide support when needed to enhance and enrich the learning of all students. If you believe you can't, you won't. If you believe you can, you will put in all of your effort to accomplish it. Carol has promoted this philosophy and equity and excellence to others, students, friends, family, and colleagues. In junior high, Carol placed 2nd in the school sewing competition and received the 7th place in American Legion Awards, an honor recommended by teachers. She graduated in the top 10% of her high school class. Carol has a BA and MA in mathematics and a PhD in education. She is the person giving this Ignite tone.